Since I've been here at Illinois.
Well, guys, what's it like to be part of this, to represent the team as two of the leaders?
It means a lot. I feel like we've been a big part of the Big Ten the last couple of years, and to be here at Big Ten Media Day to represent Illinois means a lot. Our fans are so passionate. We get all the national media, so to be the two guys to represent the face of Illinois means a lot.
Well, this is my first year here at Illinois. It's my home state. I'm happy to be back home and represent Illinois. But Coleman's been here longer than me, so I'm kind of like following his lead sometimes, and he's telling me the stuff that I don't know. So, but overall, it's really nice being able to represent Illinois.
Coleman, this is pretty much a totally different team. What's some of the strengths you think of this team, and how different are they than what you've played on in the past here at Illinois?
I think I've talked about this before, but it's more positionless and a lot less structure. I think a lot more stuff is more randomized than what we had in the past couple years, and a little less predictable as well. So I think we have some great pieces that can be all over the place, and it's not really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4-man does this, 5-man does that, 1 does this. You know, it's kind of just random.
You've each had your share of hype in the preseason so far. How does that motivate you against each other in practice? Terrence, go first.
I mean, we try to make each other better every day. We all know each other's goals and our team goals, and if we're not going hard in practice, we know we won't reach them. But the hype that we get, that's just extra. We don't really pay much attention to it, but we just try to push each other hard every day.
Has there been an adjustment from going from Texas Tech to going to Illinois, or has it been a pretty smooth transition?
It's been a pretty smooth transition. Similar coaching styles within Chris Beard and Mark Adams, now Coach Underwood. But it's been a pretty smooth change overall.
Terrence, what has made it such a smooth transition? What about Illinois has allowed for that to go pretty easily?
They just welcomed me in. When I got here, it was like no guys. Like I haven't had any problem with, or nobody on the team has had problem with guys just with bad attitudes, or like a guy like not liking this guy because of this or that. We all been together, and everyone here treated me well, and it still does, and so it's been pretty good.
Coleman, just to follow on his thought, you said there's no bad attitudes. What kind of allows for the atmosphere to be one in which you guys can bring in a transfer, you can bring in somebody on their second or third stop, and everybody's understanding of that? There's not egos in play.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. There's no egos. You know, I've been there for 3 years, but I don't use that as an excuse to feel like I'm better than anybody. You know, and I've been touching on it a lot too. I think a different style of leadership is another thing. You know, verbally, I think I've said it multiple times, could be hypocritical. And leading by example, you know, showing Terrence what to do rather than he makes a mistake. I'm in his ear about everything. Now he's overthinking stuff. I think it's just like a different sense of leadership, and like I said, there's no egos. Nobody thinks they're better than anybody. I'm not gonna say I'm the leader. You guys have to follow me. It's just more of examples and no egos and everybody getting along.
All right, have you gotten up with Terrence in the morning?
I have not, no. I have woken up in the middle of the night and heard him getting ready, but I have not gotten up with Terrence, no.
Are you guys roommates?
Yeah.
What do you think of his morning routine?
I don't mind it. We'll be watching like Thursday night football, and then it's like the game's just starting. He's like, all right, I'll see you guys in the morning. Going to bed at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, but You know, we're two different people. He does what he thinks is best for him. I do what I think is best for me. And, that might just be sleep for me, and it might be go work out for him at that time. But we both get our work in. So.
Brad said you guys are way ahead defensively compared to your offense. You mentioned the options you have offensively, but where are you at in terms of making it all click and putting it all together?
Yeah, I think in practice, I think we're still young and getting a fresh start to, I haven't been a part of a team that switches so much. So, we're better because it's easier to switch. I think the biggest thing we need to work on is our communication in those switches. Sometimes at practice we'll be doing a good job and then someone just doesn't communicate and then it leads to somebody being wide open. But I think that's just the biggest thing. It's just a different style of defense. And having the new guys being able to get ready to step up in big roles and talk a lot more and just be on top of everything and kind of not be perfect but limit mistakes. So.
Terrence, did you try and get a gym lined up for 4:45 this morning? You take the day off?
No, I just took the day off. We practice later, so it's not really a day off, but it's I slept. I slept today. It feel like a weekend though. It does feel like a weekend.
Terrence, we've seen Coleman play the last couple of years. Just come in with maybe fresh eyes. What did you learn about his game, learn about him?
It's crazy. I actually had an interview like at the beginning of when I first got here, and when I first played with Coleman and like watched him play, I didn't know like he can like pass and like facilitate the way that he did, and like it really surprised me. And like when people come in our practices now, or if I have a conversation like with someone from back home or someone that I know, I just be like, Coleman is like way better than people think he is. And I can't wait for him to show it this year.
Coleman, what was you and the rest of the team's reaction when you kind of heard changes coming into both you guys?
At first, I was like hoping for a transfer. I was just like waiting around for like us to make a move, and I saw Terrence. I knew he'd be another athletic wing, another guy who can just, like I said, be positionless. So I was super excited to know that we're gonna get another dominant wing. I feel like he will fit our play style, playing fast, pushing the ball, and just being able to guard. I know he's an elite defender as well, just being a bulldog, like how Trent was, over screens, stuff like that. And I was super excited.
How much did you guys follow that in general, right? Like, there's so much roster movement happening, especially for you guys this past spring, guys coming in, guys leaving. How much are you following, like, Twitter to, like, see who you guys are recruiting on a day-to-day basis? Is coach telling you everything you know? Like, how do you deal with the uncertainty of who's going to be next to you in the spring?
Personally, I try to not really, like, focus on, like, going on social media. I kind of just learn, like, from our fans after something does happen. I let the coaches kind of do their job and get who they got to get. But I kind of just find out from like Instagram. But if there's that's more for like transfers. But if there's like a recruit, I do my research and I try to talk to them. Talk to them on their visit. Try to just see how we relate. So it's kind of different with transfers and recruits. So.
Coleman, Coach Underwood, the last couple of years talked about your potential just from the versatile skill set. Do you see this season as maybe the opportunity to show all of that?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll be used kind of more as a quarterback this year. Offensively, a lot of 5-out stuff. But I definitely think the spotlight will be there as far as just being able to do a little bit more. And I'm not saying I have the green light to shoot every shot I want, and that's not even the type of player I am, but kind of just demonstrate that skill set, kind of like that Draymond Green mixed in, I feel like, with a little bit of Cam Johnson with that three-point shooting, knockdown shooter for the Suns. So, yeah.
Would you embrace that challenge, maybe the more going to be asked of you?
Yeah, definitely. I think in order for us to be successful, I'm going to have to step up in a lot of ways. So I'm a competitive dude, so I'm up for any challenge.
As a quarterback, more Justin Fields or Patrick Mahomes?
I'm going to stick with my boy Justin Fields. I'm a diehard Bears fan, so I'm going to say Justin Fields.
Terrence, for Illinois fans that might not have seen you play at Tech, can you just describe your game and your skill set? What do you bring to the court?
I feel like I'm a great defender. I can handle the ball. I can shoot it pretty well. And I'm athletic.
Coach,
I'm pretty all around.
Coach Underwood talked about you bringing the ball up and facilitating the offense. Is that something you've done before in the past? You feel comfortable doing that, or?
Yes, it's something I've done in the past. But like when you get to the level of college and the NBA, you have to buy into your role, what your role is on the team. And it just wasn't really like my role at Texas Tech. And now that has changed since I came here to Illinois, and I'm just embracing it, getting better at it, and just continuing to work.
Terrence, when you entered the transfer portal, obviously Illinois boy, what sold you on coming here to Illinois? And has there been any moment where so far where you're like, I made the right decision, this is where I want to be?
I feel like everything happens for a reason. Coach Underwood and those guys, they recruited me since I was in high school, and when I was in the portal, we were communicating, and when it was time for me to make my decision, it was Illinois, and that everything happened from there.
Can you talk about the visit you made when Oscar Tshishwidi was there?
And E.J. Liddell.
E.J. Liddell was there, and there was a big gym. Can you talk about your impression then versus what it is now?
I feel like now and then, I feel like I feel like now I'm better, and I would play a bigger role, and I can impact the team more than I did then. But it was the same. They never lied to me. They never tried to sell me or tell me I would be doing this or be playing this amount of minutes, but they just told me the truth and told me I would have to come and work.
How much did that early relationship, at least with Brad, it's a different staff, but how much did that matter once they came back in and recruited you a second time?
Because when I committed to Texas Tech, they all congratulated me on my decision, and they wasn't like, oh, you should have came here or you'll regret your decision. It was all positive, and I've always been thankful for that, and I feel like that kept our relationship good. And when it was time for me to enter the portal, we were on good terms, and we went on from there. I worked a lot on ball handling and shooting, pick and roll reads, and just facilitating, which I'm still doing, but just improving my game overall.
Terrence, what's something that this coaching staff, since you started working with them, has maybe unlayered for you, or an area that you've just seen, hey, being a part of this program has made me automatically better at this or more aware of that? Just being more aggressive. Sometimes I can be really passive and overpass.
You need to shoot the ball more.
But just they emphasize, and Coleman, he tells me in practice too, to just keep being aggressive and just stay in attack mode.
There's a lot of defensive-minded players in the league, but who was or who do you think will be the hardest to guard this season?
Zach Edey.
Zach Edey.
Coleman, I'm curious, kind of along the lines again of the off season, how much activity there was. How how many different ways do you think that this particular Illini team can play?
I think we could play multiple ways. I think we could play a lot of guys. So I think we could maximize our energy and press a lot more. I think defensively we can have a lot of different defensive schemes. Offensively, like I said, kind of like a structured randomness. I think we can put a guy like Ty Rodgers on the other team's best player, conserve energy for Terrence offensively. But I think our biggest thing is, if I'm being real with you, I think our biggest thing is, not fouling. I think foul trouble might hurt us this year. But I think we have a long list of guys who can come in and maximize their energy and make an impact on the game.
For both of you, how has Matthew fit into the equation here?
I think off the court, Matthew's character just connects with everybody. He's just like a goofy dude, and then on the court, he makes shots. He's in the passing lanes. He's making guys better. So I think he's been a good fit for us. Like Matt's a guy you can't get mad at him. Like, he'll do something annoying, but he's just like so funny. Like, you can't get mad at him. Like, he's just goofy like that. So.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like Coleman said, he makes shots. We all know Matt's a great scorer. Also a great cutter, and he crashes the glass pretty well. I feel like he's improving, and he's gotten better with his defense. He actually leads our team in steals in practice right now. But yeah, like Coleman said, he's a really funny guy, goofy. Yeah.
What was it like playing against him at Baylor?
This past year was really fun because we won both games. But yeah, like I said, Matt's a great shooter, cutter, big body, rebounding. But it was nice and fun playing against Matt. I always look forward to the competition and the matchup against him.
Terrence, Ty said he's looked up to you a lot and kind of looked at your game, watched kind of how you do things. Like, what have you seen from him, just in his ability? And Coleman talking about guarding other teams' best players as a freshman. Like, what have you seen from him?
Ty he's like a bulldog. Like, he's everywhere. Like, he leads our team in rebounding in practice most of the days. He plays hard. He's everywhere defensively. Like, he guards the ball well. He plays point guard sometimes for us. And he just gotten way better since he's been here. Like, improving. He always asking questions. And just trying to do everything right.
If you guys could play with one player from a different Big Ten team, who would it be and why?
Zach Edey. Zach Edey, because I feel like his intimidation as far as being 7'4", whatever, 290, 300 pounds. I think it's just like he'd be a paint beast for us. So I think Zach Edey for sure.
You play more five, having to match up with Zach or Hunter or Trace. What's important for you to take on a bigger role defending fives?
Yeah, just knowing that whatever scheme we have that night, I have to lock in and pay close attention to it. Be locked in, focus on detail, especially when I'm guarding those guys, because all of them are great scorers in the league. I think it'll be a great challenge for me. I've been putting on weight because I know I'm gonna have to be guarding those fives. But I think I'm looking forward to it. Just being, and that's another thing. When people think about things like Defensive Player of the Year, they think about steals and stuff like that. What about when a guy guards 1 through 5 and does a great job every night? So I think I'm up for a challenge like that, guarding 1 through 5 and doing a pretty good job at it every night.
Coleman, I know Brad said in his press conference that he felt last year like Iowa was able to do some difficult things to you guys because they could pull Kofi away from the basket, play kind of 1 through 5 the way that you guys I think are going to play a lot this year. I'm curious, as a player, if you felt that last year against a team like Iowa and there were things you learned from those matchups you might be able to apply now that you're on the offensive side?
Yeah, Iowa's team, they played hard, got in that press, sped us up a lot, and you know, it might not be, they might not have been a good half-court team, but you know, they sped us up at times. Offensively, setting flares, back screens, and getting like Keegan Murray, him getting baskets. So I think our style of play is going to be similar to that. But I think the matchup with them last year was like perfect. Besides, you know, we had Kofi. I mean, you know, I have respect for Rebraka, but he's not as big as Kofi. But you know, I think we'll be in the same shoes, and they were successful last year as well, winning the Big Ten tournament. So
when you had that stretch at the beginning of last year, Kofi was out, and you showed maybe some of that do everything type of thing. What's the process to making that every game type deal?
I think now it's more prepared. I think we weren't expecting for when Kofi was going to be out, and it was just go out there and just go do it. I think now that it's structured and getting prepared and worked on, I think it's going to be a lot more successful. So yeah.
Terrence, you said you're a little surprised at what Coleman could do when you first saw him play, but just how do you feel now that you've had summer and started fall with him? What he does, how does that fit with what maybe you guys want to do as a team?
I feel like it fits because Coleman's about like 6'10". He can handle it, pass, shoot it, and there's not many guys like his size that can guard and switch from 1 through 5, or can have the ball at the top of the key and handle and throw a across the court pass to an open guy in his chest. He's just in playing defense, like in the help side, coming over to block shots, and defending guys like Zach Edey, and us having his back doing it. I feel like you guys will just have to see it. Like I can describe it, but you will see it this season with Coleman.
Coleman, you talked about Ty Rodgers. What have you seen from the other 3 freshmen? And do you expect him to play a pretty big role for you this year?
Yeah, I think Sky is a great scorer. I think at times he'll get sped up in practice. Same with Jaden as well. He'll get a little sped up in practice, but they're growing from it. Playing off 2 feet is going to be a big thing for them as well. But they've been learning a lot every day. You know, those 2 at the point guard position. You know, for a freshman, you know, you're the point guard of one of the best teams in the country. So those 2 can score the ball really well. They're getting used to our play style, the Big Ten, what they have to do to be successful. Sincere, I think Sincere had some growing pains, but he's improved a lot. His 3-point shot is going in now. At first, it wasn't really going in, but it's going in now. He's just got to be locked in and pay attention to detail, limit mistakes. But he's a great defender. He goes out and plays hard every time we practice. And then Ty goes out and plays hard every time we practice as well. He takes advantage when he's at the point guard. If he has a smaller guard on him, he'll post him up. I think my biggest thing for Ty is developing a knockdown jump shot. I think he just needs to be more confident and know that we want him to shoot the ball. But he's been great facilitating, bringing the ball up. He as well gets a little sped up at times, but it's all a part of being young and getting used to pressure and stuff like that. So it's a big role they're all gonna have, but I think they're gonna be up for the challenge.
What do you think it says about the state of the program that expectations are still high despite losing all of those seniors and super seniors?
I think it has a big part of Coach Underwood's success and knowing what he's been through and the way he brought the program back. And I think another thing is just knowing that his teams always play hard. That's what you have to do in this league. Respect every opponent. But at the end of the day, I think defense will win the championship. defense and effort. So that's what we can control, and people know that we're going to go out there as Illinois and do that. So.
Coleman, I know in high school you played both with Jalen Green, Mark Burnett, and some other guys. How did that kind of team kind of help you mold your skill set?
I knew that I had to get the ball to Namari for open shots. Namari was a great player. Same thing with Jalen. Even Jordan Pope down the line. Watt Mag, he's at Rutgers now. I think almost everyone on that team is a pro. The amount of skill we had on that team was crazy. The size, the length. Playing on a high school team with that amount of size, we had more size than a lot of Division I colleges. I think just knowing the skill set that was on the team and knowing what's best for that team really helped me mature a lot as a player and understand the game a lot more as well. So.